When a $13 billion supercarrier averages fewer than 44 sorties per day, while its rival, which costs only a third as much, achieves 60 sorties in actual combat, are we witnessing a historic turning point in the shift of maritime power? The performance report brought back by the USS Ford upon its return to Norfolk Naval Station left the Pentagon in an awkward silence. During a 260-day deployment period, the carrier-based aircraft averaged only 43.5 sorties per day. This figure not only falls far short of the average for Nimitz-class carriers, but is less than 52% of the design target. Even more astonishingly, during nearly the same period, China's Shandong carrier achieved a stable average of 60 sorties per day during practical training in the Western Pacific. This carrier, which uses a traditional ski jump deck, costs less than 30% of the Ford's price. The collapse of the electromagnetic catapult system has become the greatest embarrassment for the Ford class. The revolutionary technology claimed to require maintenance only every 4,166 launches has, in actual combat, deteriorated to a point where it malfunctions every 181 launches. During its 2023 deployment in the Mediterranean, an F-18 fighter jet launch mission was delayed from the theoretical 45 seconds to half an hour due to system overheating. More ironically, this so-called most advanced aircraft carrier still cannot safely launch the 31-ton F-35C fighter jet. A Pentagon internal memo admitted, reliability issues are so severe that the $13 billion aircraft carrier has had to be redesigned or deployed poorly. The list of faults does not end there. The Ford's pride and joy, its 11 electromagnetic ammunition elevators, once saw 9 of them fail simultaneously, preventing ammunition and missiles from being transported below deck. A typical repair takes 5 days, the U.S. military report sharply points out. This is enough to destroy the entire battle group twice. Even more astonishing is the fatal oversight in personnel support. The ship is short 159 beds, forcing sailors to sleep in 3 shifts on hot bunks, and after 239 days at sea, combat effectiveness has been systematically drained by exhaustion. While the U.S. military was mired in technical challenges, the Shandong ski jump deck was demonstrating the extreme optimization of outdated technology through the reconfiguration of hangar logistics and the optimization of maintenance processes. The J-15 fighter jets achieved emergency takeoff and interception within 15 minutes, with the coordination efficiency of early warning helicopters improving by 30% compared to the Liaoning. The ergonomic design of the command cabin, featuring warm brown tones, allows crew members to maintain high efficiency after standing for 8 hours. Over 5 years of nearly 10,000 takeoffs and landings, the ground crew has honed their skills to recover all aircraft on the deck within 20 minutes even in heavy rain. This muscle memory-like proficiency stems from the Chinese Navy's uniquely developed 3-stage 9-exam training system. Pilots must pass 128 assessments, including land-based simulated landing, night-blind landing tests, and formation anti-interference assault drills. With an elimination rate consistently maintained at 67%, the tonnage gap was once seen as an insurmountable barrier, but operational effectiveness has shattered this physical limitation. The Shandong-class aircraft carrier is equipped with J-15T catapult-launched fighters, which feature active, phased-array radars with a detection range exceeding that of the U.S. Navy's PG-79 radar by 50 kilometers. Combined with the PL-15 missile with a range of 200 kilometers, they form an over-the-horizon strike network covering the first island chain. Meanwhile, the USS Ford, due to compatibility issues between the F-35C and its electromagnetic catapult system, still relies primarily on the F-18E F fighters, nicknamed the plastic worms, which are at a significant disadvantage compared to the J-15T. The gap in system-level combat capabilities is even more critical. When the Shandong aircraft carrier deployed to the Western Pacific, the YJ-21 missiles of the Type 055 destroyers could cover a 1,500-kilometer maritime area, with a regional air defense radius of 400 kilometers, and the entire battle group's cost was only one-third of that of the Ford-class carrier alone. When a dual-carrier task force forms a 370,000-ton mixed fleet, 1,072 missile vertical launch units create a fire control zone with a radius of 600 kilometers. This three-dimensional hunting network woven by carrier-based aircraft, destroyers, and submarines forced the hypothetical enemy fleet to keep its radars off throughout the 2024 Taiwan Strait exercise. The fundamental difference in strategic positioning ultimately undermined the operational value of the two ships. The U.S. Navy positioned the Ford class as a global deterrent force, but when faced with the Houthi rebels' 4 Mach anti-ship missiles in Yemen, it was forced to retreat 500 kilometers to avoid the threat. Meanwhile, During its 2024 long-range training exercise, the Shandong aircraft carrier maintained an average of 55 takeoffs and landings per day despite close-range reconnaissance and interference from foreign military aircraft. While the USS Ford was undergoing its ninth return to the shipyard for repairs due to a malfunction in its ammunition elevator, the Shandong was conducting exercises with the Type 055 destroyer to coordinate beyond visual range anti-ship fire networks. Monitoring data from the Japanese Self-Defense Forces revealed a harsher reality. The Shandong once set a record of 380 takeoffs and landings in 7 days, averaging one aircraft departing every 8 minutes. Meanwhile, the Pentagon's 2024 Carrier Combat Capability Assessment report shows that the Ford's aircraft sortie rate is only 60% of that of the Nimitz class. More symbolically, the speed comparison, the conventionally powered Shandong travels 1,420 kilometers per day, surpassing the nuclear-powered Ford's 1,350 kilometers. This achievement stems from Chinese engineers' relentless optimization of the steam turbine, plus diesel engine dual propulsion system, coupled with precise calculations to reduce the ship's weight by 15%. The key to the shift in maritime power lies in the electromagnetic catapult technology adopted by the Fujian-class carrier. The Ford class uses an AC catapult system with a failure rate as high as 1 in 272. The Fujian aircraft carrier switched to medium-voltage direct current technology, reducing the failure rate to less than 1 in 5,000, shrinking the volume by 40%, and lowering energy consumption by 35%. This leapfrog advancement stems from the comprehensive generational leap in power systems theory proposed by Ma Wuming's team in 2010. While the United States was fixated on increasing AC frequency, China directly restructured the current transmission paradigm. The waves of the Western Pacific bear witness to two starkly different scenarios. While the USS Ford was deemed combat damaged by exercise judges due to sensors failing to continuously track multiple targets, the Shandong's phased array radar was locking onto a simulated target group 400 kilometers away. While U.S. pilots risked their lives landing due to overheated arresting cables, China's carrier-based aircraft squadron, relying on a land-based simulated landing training system, had already achieved a 97% pass rate in night-blind landing assessments. Deeper disruptions are brewing in shipyards. The Newport News shipbuilding yard has been struggling for 6 years to deliver the second Ford-class carrier, the USS Kennedy, and has been forced to dismantle the wreckage of the USS Enterprise to obtain spare parts. Meanwhile, China's Jiangnan and Dalian dual shipyards have adopted modular post-production, reducing the sea trial period for the Fujian-class carrier by 43% compared to the Liaoning class. With electromagnetic catapult costs amounting to only 60% of their U.S. counterparts, the gap in industrial capacity is dragging the myth of technological superiority into a clash of steel. History often mocks those who rely solely on technology. The Ford Class 13 revolutionary technologies came at a cost of escalating expenses from $10.5 billion to $20 billion, yet its operational readiness rate has remained below 30% for an extended period. While China's three-step approach from ski jump decks to electromagnetic catapults achieved technical controllability, with a failure rate of 0.3%. When the Nimitz-class carrier was forced to extend its service life to 60 years to fill the capability vacuum, the Fujian-class carrier's J-35 stealth fighters had already completed network integration with the KJ-600 early warning aircraft. This system can monitor a maritime area with a radius of 1,200 kilometers, equivalent to covering half of the Western Pacific. The balance of maritime power never tilts based on tonnage or cost. It only respects combat capabilities forged in the crucible of battle. Precision instruments and display cases will eventually gather dust, but combat-hardened blades soaked in seawater can carve out new paths in the era. After all, equipment that can be deployed at any time for combat is truly good equipment. When the DF-26 anti-ship missile forced the U.S. military to retreat 4,000 kilometers away, the era of deterring opponents with aircraft carrier costs was sinking into the cold Atlantic Ocean alongside the flashing fault warning lights of the Ford-class carrier.